Hello everybody and welcome to an ear-shattering first anniversary of Let's Build Live. How are we all this evening? I hope we are well. How's the new microphone? It is good to be here. That's a lie. It is great to be here. Absolutely fantastic. I hope everyone is good. Seriously though, how's the quality of the microphone? I've tested it on videos, I've not tested it on live stream yet. And how's the white balance on the, look, things should be the right colour now. This logo, for example, should be kind of brown. Hello, much Christmas. Goodness me, you sound excited, loud and clear. Excellent, this is what I like to hear. Ear shattering indeed, sounds great. Brilliant, that's what I was after. I would love to deny being a little bit excited, but I'm quite excited. This is the year anniversary, guys. Eardrums felt the anniversary vibes, literally. Brilliant. Harry, welcome. How are you? But yes, I thought the Terrier and the H1 should be sat here, just to really get some sense of scale in this logo we're working on this evening. It looks tiny next to a Terrier. It looks even tinier next. It looks tight. It doesn't look particularly large next to the H1's tender. So many wonderful people here for the 1 year anniversary stream already. Don't forget to smash that like button and sub if you aren't already. Thank you, Alex. That is a brilliant point, everyone. You know, we are doing absolutely fantastic on that front, actually. When I checked earlier today, we had 206 subscribers. This time last year, we had 41. That is a heck of a difference. I know I'm pretty excited for this one. I thought you would be, Javier. Of course, this kit, for those who don't know, is John Craven's number 27, built for the Hailsham to Polegate line. The kit was designed by Javier. It is up on his Shapeways. You can get a link to Javier's Shapeways account with exclamation mark Javier in the chat. Whatever possessed Brighton to paint the top of tenders a horrible orange. I honestly have no idea, Luke, but I quite agree with you. Found it much less tinny, though I do have volume turned down. I don't want to be prematurely deaf because of an overly happy Gary yelling in my ear. Why not, Alex? Why not? Evening, feels like yesterday. The stream feels like yesterday the stream started. Brilliant since day one. How are you? In case you hadn't noticed, Harry, I'm absolutely fantastic. And there is Javier dropping a link to Javier's shop. You are building a Javier kit. Excellent. I am indeed. And you know what you need for a Javier kit? You need the parts that go with a Javier kit. I'm sure all these bags I'm throwing out have stuff in them. Not that I've been collecting parts or anything. I would never do such a thing. There we go. Just a few parts. So we have all the small details that come with it and all the brake shoes that I've broken off because, you know, I'm a rather careless clot like that. We have some reasonably thick brass wire. It's got to be about 1 mil thick, this brass wire. Measuring it on my ruler it is, I don't have calipers to measure with. What are you going to give all your subscribers birthday cake? I might have eaten all the birthday cake already, sorry James. Indeed, another 27 Heritage Railway Productions. Really? You sounded a bit down. Yeah, I know. Hard, isn't it? I've got some connecting rods and coupling rods, in this case stolen from a DJH kit, but I will be recommending a proper set when I send all my list of what I've used to Javier, and they will appear on the Shapeways. We have some scale link wheels, which if I put, you can get the model number SW1058B, single set of them. That is the 10mm trailing wheels. We have the drivers, SW1312D. They are 13mm driving wheels. That Chinesium motor. It is not a Chinesium motor, Luke. This is a newly released High Level's own brand 1015 motor. I think it's a 1015. Oh, the receipt doesn't say. But it's a 1015 motor. I'm sure it's 1015 from High Level, along with the High Level Slimliner Plus gearbox. In fact, I've got it written down here. Yes, it's a High Level 1015 motor, 3mm axles, 54:1 ratio Slimliner Plus. Can't remember how much the wheels were, but the motor and the gearbox came to £27.50. Very, very reasonable if you ask me. We have many crank pins for the wheels. And we have some Lost Wax brass, I think they're called slide bars. I could be wrong. These ones stolen from the same DJH kit I stole these from, but they're very similar, if not identical, to ones you can get from Alan Gibson. And that, ladies and gentlemen, along with some pictures and drawings, are what you need for building one of these kits. High Level's motor, looks suspiciously similar to the motors I get from China, that Hornby also use in a load of their locos. I did think it looked suspiciously like that. He claims these motors have been developed to replace Mishimas, and he has certainly got the sizes right for replacing Mishima's equivalents. Probably say make custom windings to give better speed torque qualities. I would expect so. Going to be interesting how you DCC this little guy. It is, isn't it, Luke? I can do it all. Because you see, when working on this kit, me and Javier discussed it a lot, and it was designed around the motor. And could you get a more perfect fit than that? Let's be honest. No, you couldn't. You're also using that one chap's video. A screenshot from it, yes. Because I needed something, didn't I? You know what, Javier? That model actually went up for sale a few years ago on eBay, and it went for nearly £400. I could not believe it. So yes, what do we have here? We have a nice selection of parts. Good thing teeny weeny decoders exist. Teeny weeny decoders do indeed exist, don't they? Loads of room in there, Luke. Don't know what you're on about. Like I say, the motor fits there. Absolutely loads of room. Honest. So yes, things I've done already, because I didn't want to come into this completely blind. I have found myself a drill with a correct diameter drill bit for the slide bars. I was sad to find he was selling it too. It looked truly brilliant. It did, didn't it? And I have so far drilled out this side. Sounds like a job for Zemo. Yes, the Zemo little one would be perfect. I have not yet drilled out this one because these holes, as they come, are only about 1mm deep. So you just need to get in there very carefully. And you can see, I don't know how well you'll be able to see on camera, but you can see it going slightly white along this face as you're drilling down. So you can see how far through you're drilled so that you don't pop out the other side. Look at that list of links, everyone. Isn't Alex kind? Give the hard-working mod a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Is it worth getting an Archimedes screw drill as well? I find mine extremely helpful, Luke. So let's see if we can get some focus on here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. But if you look, you can see, although we're not quite in focus, a white line down there. And that is actually the hole I've drilled inside so that I can see where I have and haven't drilled. I think that's one of the plus sides of the FUD, as they used to call it. It is indeed, Javier, it is indeed. Look at that, the bot now wants you all to smash that like button or give it a gentle tap. And whilst you're down there, make sure you subscribe and press that notification bell so you get alerted whenever I go live or upload a video. YouTube shield work done. So you will now see, if we take one of these out, and try and be careful not to lose the screw and the bolt. But despite being quite long, it now goes in the hole. And it goes in this hole. Obviously it needs cutting down, it is way too long at the moment. I didn't know that was a thing though. Fair enough, Javier. I caressed the button. I'm sure the button enjoyed that, Corbs. I'm sure it loved your caressing cursor across it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are PG here. PG. So, where are we going to start now that we've done that? We're going to be really annoying and start with some paint. I know you all love seeing me paint, but I want to get this with its gearbox and everything fitted, which means I need to paint it. So for a black chassis, we're going to go with the matte 32 as always. I'd like to remind you, Corbs, I did not promise that this would keep you awake. I'm going to use this brush because this is the one I chose. we should not start with painting. We should start by sticking those brake shoes I've snapped off back on. That's what we should start with. Remember, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Humber Matte Black is 33 unless they've changed it. It is, you're quite right, Luke. Humber Matte Black is number 33. I'm not painting it matte black. Never use black on a model. The same goes for white, but I do actually have a tin of white, so shh, just don't tell anyone about that, will ya? Go out in the real world and look at these things, Luke. They're never actually black. They're a bit busy being slightly dirty. I'm awake now, though, and that's what probably matters. Yeah, that's what probably matters. That's why you said number 32. It is, because that and because I'm using number 32. Let's put all these extra bits that Javier very cleverly designed into the model for printing. Obviously not these bits of metal. They were not printed with it, shockingly. What we want is some super glue. A blob of which will go on the bench, ready for me to put stuff in, including my arm. Trust me, that happens way more than I'd like to admit. Ooh, stingy eyes. Fun times. That is the snap from there. Not yet. Oh, interesting, Javier. Interesting. Especially if you're doing green or blue. This will ensure if you miss small areas and add dimension. Yeah, your second message came through as I was looking at the first one. I tend to do a matte colour, then weather on top. The black typically just provides some depth and undershading. It's a good colour to prime with, actually, especially if you're doing green or blue. It will then show through if you miss a small area and add dimension. Ah, but the Brighton used a red oxide primer. So if I were to miss some and it looked like something showing through, or a scratch or something, then you would expect to see red oxide underneath. And in fact there are photos of Stroudley tenders, because Stroudley didn't put heat protection, Stroudley boilers, sorry, because he didn't put as much heat protection around, of the boilers peeling off on older locos and the primer showing through because it got too hot for the paint. Otherwise, I agree, never leave anything plain matte black. So yes, there's a little factoid for you. Older Stroudley locos in improved engine green, there should be patches of paint missing on the boiler and primer showing through. There are some good photos displaying this of G-Class Stevenson in its final years, when it really was very run down. There's photos of it in 1914 in improved engine green. Umber had come in as the livery 9 years before that, so it had been a while since it had been through the paint shop. And something I never expect to see modelled in 4mm scale is there's patches of the paint on there that have bubbled. Tell me how I can model accurate bubbled paint in 4mm scale and I will. Otherwise it's not happening. And there we go, there's the brakes, and so that is back to how it should be. I think at some point all the brakes have been broken off this, and these are just the ones I've broken off and not glued back on recently. Because I thought I should mention this. I'm a clot, don't be a clot. Now we can paint it. Because being super glue, that'll be dry enough for us to paint over. I'm just looking at the H1 on my telly screen and wondering, should we have a bit more brightness to this picture? Because there is a brightness for me to play with. Sure you're not a clot, those brake bars probably need to be a tad thicker anyhow. I'm sure it is that I'm a clot. Once it's all built and can go in a proper stock box and isn't sitting in a box waiting to be built. Because it's actually spent its entire life in the box it came from Shapeways. So once it's got a proper home, it won't get bashed about so much. Brightness, that's fine. Okay, I shall leave as is. Thank you for the feedback. As I have been playing with the levels on the camera, so we've got better white balance and stuff now. Along with a new microphone. It's almost like I'm taking this professional YouTuber thing seriously. I assure you I'm not. So how is everyone doing this evening? Do we have any projects on the go? soldering droppers to engage layout, so flux kittens. Ah, new sizzle. The poor kittens. Doing some more work on Haven Island, being careful not to turn it into a nightmare project. I know that feeling of nightmare project. They're usually worth it in the end though. I'm petting the cat, does that count as a project? Yes, yes it does. Yup, I've been wiring up and preparing trap bed for my layout, got the cork laid down and droppers soldered now. I need to get some baseboard alignment nails. They do help. Yes. I can see alignment dowels being helpful. Personally, I'm a fan of the V's that I have in Hailsham, which were designed by someone at Uckfield Club. He sells metal kits for doing those onto your layout. And they really are simple. You just drop the two boards together, they align themselves. It's fantastic. And saves on legs. And there we have it. Everything that needs to be black on there is black. Let's put it that way up, shall we? Especially want to exhibit eventually. Some boards will need to come apart. Yes, indeed. The bot wants to know if you knew I had a Twitter account. And it wants you to check out that Twitter account. And Alex the Mole wants us to remember to hydrate. It's a sore point at the moment, that. Blooming panic buyers. I genuinely do have generic drink. Doing transfers at the moment. Ah, nice, fun, and definitely not in the slightest bit fiddly jobs. They're the best jobs, they are. So yes, hydration is important, ladies and gentlemen. With my genuinely, actually generic store brand orange coloured sugar-free liquid. Raise a glass to the mod, he does a great job. I need to remember how I put this microphone so it blocks that light from getting in my eyes. I think it's there. It's been a long time since it's been folded down. So yes, that is that bit of painting done, and we're going to leave the painting there for now. Whilst that dries, we can look at folding this up. Orange coloured, is it made from girders? No, it's a lighter orange than that, Lily. Oh, these are quite nice ones to work with for a change, far better than the last ones I was using. Good to hear. I'll tell you, I've been doing a lot of transfer work recently and I'm very happy with the ones I've been using. Totally not a plug for Mr. Ian McCormack and his wonderful transfers. So I've read this once. High level, really do like to make sure you know what you are doing. There is the gearbox exploded diagram. So one thing you need to make sure happens is this goes on here. This is supposed to be a tight fit, and it was. And I never pushed it all the way on like that, but when I pushed it together it was very tight. That's not very tight. Never mind, there's ways and means and stuffs and things. But yeah, fun fact, I've never made a high level gearbox before. My hydration is also lightly coloured but made from barley juice. Ooh. Been a while since I've had any barley juice. I totted up the total for all the transfers I need to letter numbers 4476 and 4489. Spot a Loctite or nail varnish. Exactly, Linny. See? Ways and means. Quite a lot more than I thought. Well, no one ever said they were cheap. That's not going to come out like that. I'm going to pop that with a knife. I need to do that on the wood. Because I can dig into the wood as I pop it through. Suppose I should do the rest of them looking at it. We'll have this bit that we don't need. This bit that we do need. I need to take the other washer off that first. So that bit that we do need, that bit that I don't think we need. This bit that we do don't, and this bit that we do. And there is a gearbox. Now if I made lots of gearboxes, then my van wouldn't be off the road, would it? Yeah, see? But it is. And do we know why it is, ladies and gentlemen? It's because I don't make lots of gearboxes, that's right. So what we want to do now is remove all the tags that were holding it onto the sprue. Good evening, Michael McCarville. How are you today? I hope you are well. I think growing up in Havant, I really should consider buying a Sharp Stewart as my first kit build loco. You should. You definitely should. Your gearbox exploded as well. Well, no, but that's not the point, is it, Luke? It is my gears that don't work is the point. Yes, I could. This engine, at least, you don't need to lift to do any work on the gearbox. That's very true. That is very true. I am starting to think that my van has had it and will end up down the scrapyard instead of repaired, though. which is why it hasn't been done yet. Would you say that grinds your gears? I can't do impressions of non-PG shows, especially ones that I'm no good at doing impressions of anyway. In fact, no, Corp, the problem is, Corp, that the clutch doesn't grind my gears. If it did, at least they'd go into them. It makes no contact with them whatsoever. Oh, indeed. Oh, indeed. But now I have file-coloured fingers. Always fun when that happens. There we go. Now let's see whether it fits. I expect it not to. No, not quite. I expect them all to need a little bit of reaming out. Which is fine. I mean, I don't have a reaming tool. But we're not going to worry about little details like that. Because I have a rounded file. Honest, I do. There it is. And that works for reaming out extra nickel silver. Doing it during the day, I sometimes put this in the power drill. Reams out really fast then. Really, really fast. Probably annoys the neighbours as well. There we go, and just like that, it's a nice tight fit through there. They don't need much. That's called drilling. Reaming should be slow. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware reaming should be slow. It just happens to be that this file is the same diameter as almost all the axles I use, so I quite often use it for doing axle holes in chassis, and I often put the drill in it when I'm doing that. So I put it in the drill. That sound you all just heard was the armchair modelers exploding with rage that Gary just A, used a file instead of a proper reamer, and B, put it in a power drill. Yeah, it was. I ream with tweezers. Tell you what, Tom, I'll use a proper reamer if you buy me one. What I did on my J-Tank buffer mounts. At the end of the day, Alex, if it works, eh? So now just 2 more to do. Same reason I use a file instead of a reamer. Exactly, that's what I thought, Tom. I'm told they're not expensive, but I've never bothered to look it up. Because the file works. Oh look, and now the bot wants me to hydrate. So I'd best do that. Remember kids, hydration is important. There's a monkey on Discord. If you want to know who the monkey is, remember, !Discord in the chat. We'll get you a link to the Discord server so you can join and find out who was doing a monkey impression. And so that is all our holes reamed out. Definitely reamed with an actual reamer and not filed with a file. That would be silly. That would definitely be silly to do that. Yes. Anyway. I've seen we use a similar file to ream the chassis for bearings. One of these things that shares its usage. Indeed. Monkey magic. The monkey's name Luke. I don't know Luke, because when I go on here, it doesn't tell me the name of who's sending the message on here. And there is the Discord link. So now, if I bend these, and if I actually bend it straight, that's not happening first time, is it? Let's be honest. Then this will go through both holes like that. Well, who knew I could do things first time? Show of hands, please, because I didn't. My thumb definitely wasn't inside that there. And there now definitely isn't a massive line down my thumb from where it was squeezed in there. So when did you link up the watch? The watch came as a free gift with my mobile contract renewal. But bending it straight involves a set square, which I imagine you don't have. I do not. But if this goes through the holes, which are rather a tight fit, then it is straight. Ah, Javier had faith in me. It's good to know someone did. Look at that, it's a gearbox. So the wheel axle goes through there, the motor goes there, some gears go in between. Just like that. See? Perfect. And of course the good thing about this gearbox is you can get it exactly where you need it. The problem with it, of course, is cutting this, which of course normally you would use a Dremel and a cutting disc. And when using a cutting disc, you would always wear goggles because safety is very important, as is the ability to see, which you may lose if you do not wear the goggles. However, when you do these things it is now 10 to 10 at night, power tools, no power tools are kind of really used. For what I'm hoping are obvious reasons. How nicely that all fits. Isn't it wonderful? You can also, if you so choose, wear the face mask. You definitely wear this when you're working with MDF or sprays and such like. I know there's members of my audience that don't, so I thought I'd best make that point. I do not approve of not using the correct safety gear. So yes, I'm going to have to change the knife to a saw. I'll check which one of these is the one I want. This is the fine-toothed one that I want. Of course, who wouldn't wear a mask when working with MDF? No idea, Linny. No idea. Oak Hill Model Railway would like to take this moment to remind you that MDF is a carcinogen. It is important to keep yourself safe. Always be safe. Oh, that's a pleasant noise, isn't it? There we go, so I can see where that needs cutting now. So that can come out of there, it can go in the vice, which will hold it nice and tight for me. I'm sure I'll invest when the COVID epidemic settles and masks are 5 cents for a pack of 100. Yes, it has done funny things, that hasn't it, to prices. I would love to link you all to an auction on eBay, but unfortunately eBay have pulled it. Someone had listed a single roll of toilet paper on eBay. Now, they listed it for the not very unreasonable price of 50p. obviously it's an auction, that's just a starting price. By the time eBay pulled it from sale, said single roll of toilet paper had reached a price of £95,000. Now, obviously, these were not serious bids, but still, 95,000 people? What are you thinking? I am going to take all these small parts that could go everywhere and put them inside this bag. Yeah. Last I saw it topped 56. Yeah, it reached 95 earlier when eBay pulled it. I'm surprised they let it go on for that long, to be honest. They're normally quite hot on these things. Right, so if I now move back, we have the rod in the vise. I have my tiny marking on it, I can see just here. So now, I had another pleasant day at the East Grinstead exhibition today. Excellent, glad to hear it. Seriously, because I know this is not a pleasant noise. Silly, you better go on Facebook and pay 10k for a half-used one. Exactly, Harry. Yes, I know this is an unpleasant noise, so if you want me to mute the microphone, shout mute in the chat. I'm going to wait a second because I know there's a few seconds delay. Something looks good, someone says to someone else on Discord. Get in there. I noticed no one shouted mute yet. I wasn't joking about that. I have a button, I can mute it. The problem with holding circular things in vices is they don't have much area to hold tight. Kitten saw mew. Don't think we want to be sawing kittens, James. That's not very kind, is it? It's as bad as using them as flux. We'd never do that round here. There we go. So you don't need to cut all the way through with these, you can just snap it with a couple of pairs of pliers. Safe Jaws on advice to stop marking the material. These are reasonably good for not marking. Annie, welcome. How are you this evening? I suppose day for you. It is great to see you here. Thank you for coming by. So, if I put this the right way round, there we go. And so we have it in place. So we just need to do the same again for the top piece, because it only needs the 2 bits in this. I'm awake, so here I am. Well, it is very much appreciated, Annie. So we just have the one for that hole, and the one for that hole, this one obviously being for the axle. Yeah, it is really fantastic to see you here, Annie. And I'm glad you're awake. I hope you're not feeling too bad at the moment with everything. I hope life is treating you well. As well as it can, given your condition. What I should do is neaten up the ends of this. And I should remember that I've moved the camera from where it normally is. Weather is nice and cool now, so I'm feeling a lot better. No brain fog. Excellent. Glad to hear it. And so yes, now we just need to mark that one up as we did before, take it back out and get it cut. I can just about see where that's marked, so let me get that back in the vise. before we start soaring again, I will take this opportunity at 10 PM to remind everyone, hydration still very important. Exactly, Heritage Railway Productions. Hydration is important. Oh, that was the wrong way. So again, if you want me to mute it, shout mute in the chat and I will. I really do miss making models like you are doing now. I'm sure you do, Annie. I did see some of the things you had posted to RM Web back when you could model, and you had some great looking stuff. Your O-gauge template collection, fantastic. Right, I believe that is enough. Yes, that's plenty. Where's my... So we just grab that in the pliers. Oh, I grabbed it at the wrong angle there. Don't grab it at the wrong angle, otherwise it doesn't snap. But that's all you need to do. The 1 year anniversary of Let's Build, so don't forget to show your support from our episodes by smashing that like button. Thank you, Alex. It is indeed 1 year. 52 weeks that we have sat doing. Well, it's actually 50 weeks. This is episode 49, because the first episode was episode 0. And, you know, thank you for being here, everyone who was here for episode 0. I really do appreciate it. You are still with me. And we have missed 2. 1 because YouTube was broken, 1 because I was ill. So, yes, 52 weeks ago, I sat here for the first time. Very, very nervous. I like to think I don't seem so nervous anymore. But it all went well. And that's why we're still here, because you guys are awesome. You keep this stream alive, not me. I can watch you and live vicariously instead, I suppose. Well, if I can help you do that, Annie, then that is absolutely fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, it is an honour. I remember it well. Excellent, Corbs, thank you. My real stream OGs out there. I'm going to refill the, for the first time forever, actually generic orange coloured and flavoured, for that matter, sugar-free liquid. The sugar-free is, of course, the most important part for me. And certainly didn't come across as nervous. I agree with Alex. Oh, trust me, I really was. That first stream, I was so nervous. I remember getting into my stride very, very quickly. But I was so nervous and had no idea what to expect when I did it. Everything went so beautifully, and that is, of course, the fault, as I say, of all you wonderful people out there watching through your screens. And you guys are the only reason I'm still here doing this. And so, once again, I thank y'all. So there you see, we have the makings of a gearbox. It is just missing the gears. But now that we know we have them bits and they fit, I'm going to pop them back out. Fed that one through that way. Fair enough. And we can get some gears in there. This is going to be fun. Thank you for streaming. Sunday's never been so good. Thank you, Harry. Honestly, none of you could know how much the support means. It is just absolutely incredible. There is no other words for it, so thank you. So we want to take this. And poke it through there. We want our stage 1 gear to go through there. And it turns out that before we go all the way through, that's not the stage 1 gear. I'm being silly now. That's the one for the blooming axle. I know that. This is the stage 1 gear. And it wants a spacer. Now the gearbox does not come with a spacer for it. How oversized is this? Very, my favourite kind of oversized. Let's get the knife blade back on. You know, I keep letting this tiny screw roll around the workbench. I really should not do that. That is the screw for holding this to the axle. I should not let it roll round, so we'll put those bits back in there. How do you identify the order in which gears are staged, Gary? Is it something obvious like going up and down in size? Right, so the first gear is our worm. Good to see we've got focus on our side tonight, camera. Thank you for this, it's really appreciated. There we go. So our worm, which goes down onto a rounded gear. The first stage, therefore, will have come on, we really need to focus for this now, camera. This isn't funny. There we go. 2 cogs. A bigger one and a smaller one. So the bigger one goes onto the worm. The smaller one goes onto the second stage gear, which is just a single cog, which drives one designed to fit onto whatever axle size you need. And that is how we identify our gears. Dramatically oversized spacer is dramatically oversized. You know what though, it's not actually that far off the right length. And I'm not worried about cutting it by hand and getting it the wrong size. I've got so much of this rod. That was the alert noise. Did we see an alert pop up there? New patron. Thank you, Annie. That really is appreciated. Thank you very much. Yes, there is the alert on my... that's brilliant. The alerts pop-up works, guys. That's the first time we've had that go off on stream. Excellent. Amazingly, my Streamlabs alert box hasn't actually updated and doesn't tell me that there's been an alert. Thank you, Annie. That is really appreciated. I only know what it is because it popped up in my emails. So remember some time ago we tried to have a competition on who could guess what the noise was from my alert box? Who can guess what the noise was from my alert box? Slight bit more needs to come off. So people signing up to the Patreon like that really do help keep this channel running. It really is appreciated, Annie. It is all funneled back into entertainment for you. Is it a terrier whistle? It's a specific terrier whistle. Can you tell me what terrier it is? Haha. I mean, of course it's a terrier whistle. What else was it going to be? I'm awake. I'll do my best to be here. That really is appreciated, Annie. Thank you. Not the P-Class, is it? It's not the P-Class Javier. That is it. Heritage Railway Productions. It is Stepney's whistle. It's very specifically Stepney's whistle. Not just any terrier, but the best terrier. Right, that should be right. Wadden. Does anyone remember what Wadden's whistle sounds like? Poor Wadden. Should probably check. Yeah, it does. That's okay then. So this goes in. You've heard of Edward Scissorhands, or here's Gary Plier-Hands. He's not very good. That's never going to fit. There we go. I had to choose one in my proximity. Fair enough. It is, of course, also the whistle from the soundbite I use at the start of videos, which, if you look in the video description box, the description box for the videos actually tells you that it's Stepney. I don't think I've got a date of when I recorded it on there. There we go, it's in. Now, before we close it off completely, this needs to go in there as well. If anyone ever told you this isn't a fiddly job, they lied. So I started working on age 4mm, got too fiddly for me as I got older. Yes, I can see 4mm getting too fiddly. Must have been a long time ago. Well, it certainly wasn't recently, Alex. Poor Stepney. Just a bit of lock in my thumb there. You know what it is, don't you? Now that I've unfolded that to check it, you know what it is? I never reamed out the hole on this washer. I work in Engage and I'm nearly 40. Yeah, I couldn't work in Engage now, James. And I'm still closer to 30 than 40 at the moment. There we go, it fits now. I like Engage, it's very engaging. But there we go. That's the first stage in. Well, model Steam in 00 as one can't get enough pre-nationalisation stuff in N for a mainline layout. Well, you just have to build some kits then, James. 31 can barely manage 009, don't even feel that confident handling 00. Yeah, but other than handling it, what do you need to do, Alex? You've got a fantastic layout and stock. O-gauge models look lovely, but one can fit so much more railway with N. That is very, very true. O-gauge models do look quite lovely. Got everything to hand me. But you can fit so much more in with 00. The second stage will be really fiddly because the bar has to go through there, then through there, then through the gear, then through there, then through there. Fitting scale oh yeah, fitting scale couplings, of course, Alex. I forgot about that bit. Very large bedrooms. I had a 19 by 8 foot layout planned. So I reversed force perspective. Yes. God, 19 foot by 8 foot. That would have been fantastic, Annie, if it had happened. I've got it the wrong way round. For those wondering about why I'm getting things the wrong way round, I haven't bothered filing down both sides. And there is stage 2. So that just needs motor and axle attaching. And then we have a gearbox. And now would be the time when I realise that because of the way round I'm mounting the motor, the first stage is actually in the way of one of the screw holes. That was silly. Never realised you had to build gearboxes yourself. Thought they came pre-made. I believe you can get Chris at high level to make them for you, but where's the fun in that? It's fun with a capital F, for those wondering. Also, it costs more. That sounds like an excellent layout room, Annie. Transpose it to Edinburgh, I'd be happy to do a layout. Now, digital GL layout, Fortnite's answer, I'm not entirely despondent. No, your virtual stuff is fantastic, Annie. Every time I come on and see you've put an update on your thread, it makes me want to get back on playing trains again. It's been too long since I've had a play on that. The bot wants you to remember that hydration is important. Let's find one of my tiny screwdrivers. There they are. I know where they are because I keep my tools away. That's an Oak Hill Model Railway top tip you can use. Put your tools away. So yeah, seriously guys, one of the screw holes is blocked by stage 1. It's got to come back out. Thanks for the layout building offer to me. That made me smile. But remember how much fun I had putting stage 1 in? It was good fun, that. There we go, now the motor's in place. Remember to put things in the right order, everyone. It really does help. I don't want to keep unfolding this, I'm going to damage it if I do. This one was easy, that can come out of the way. Oh, there we go, caught it. Of course, if I do damage it, I'll solder it back together. So all will not be lost. And there we go, that's stage 1 back in. Do things in the right order, everyone, that is my advice. And I'm already working on one blue engine for redlining, so it wouldn't be too hard. Very good, Winnie, very good. Look at that, if I spin that, then that gear moves. Yay! Something that does what it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, I should put the axle bushes in as well. These are supposed to go from the inside out.